Success, guys, is a very, very lonely road, man. Very few people are willing to endure the pain, the sacrifice, the due diligence to be successful. It's an uphill battle. And along that road, you're not gonna see too many friends. You're gonna see your shadow most often. You gotta trust in the heart of hearts, inside what you're doing, what you believe in is a worthy cause, a winnable fight. See, the thing is, for many people, they've tried the same path you're on, and they failed. As you walk this journey, you're gonna see carcasses all over the place of people that didn't quite have it. That should inspire you, because you got further than that person and that person. But you're not looking to get further than them, you're looking to finish. How do you know you're on the right path? Where do you go to ensure that? Success, many will love you for it. The majority will hate you. Because your success makes them feel insufficient in their current endeavor. Reminds them of where they could have done it, but they came up short, and how they didn't revisit it. Where they went at it and failed, and failure is what stood. They never revisited it again. The difference between a winner and a loser, the failure's there every single time. It's just the winner gets back up and does it again, and does it again, until it goes his way. So now you're down that path and you're all alone. How do you know you're on the right path? How do you know what you're doing is in the right direction? It's not the title that makes you, it's not the success that makes you. The character defines the success, defines the fame, and it starts right there. Championships aren't won in the theater or the arena. They're won in the thousands of hours in the training room, in the labs, in the 5 a.m. runs, and the training when everyone else is sleeping. That's when it's won. The heart of a champion is a light switch that's always on. It doesn't go on and off when someone's watching. It's constant. It's how you look at something. If your name's attached to it, that you do it right, the best of your ability every single time.
Victory has defeated you. May I remind you, you adopted the dark. Meaning that you practiced in the dark, was born in the dark, shaped by the dark, molded by the dark. Some of you were soft, but you were born in the dark, and now you're soft. Every time you come up to a challenge, you quit, you surrender, you give up, you give in. Every single thing I go through, I remember I was homeless, and I draw from it. Every single time I'm going through pain, I remember that I've gone through pain since I was a kid. I draw from it. Recycle your pain.
And the last pick is...
They didn't call my name, told me it was over. But I've been deaf since I was 3. So I didn't listen.
Get something from it. You're already in pain. Use it. Do something with it. Allow it to take you to the next level. Allow your pain to push you to greatness. Some of you, your success has messed you up. You're so successful now, you soft. Your success has not benefited you. You've not grown as a result of being successful. You've lost your bite. You're not hungry anymore. Your success is damaging you. Are you hearing me? Some of you have been knocked out by life, and you got up and saw the blood, and you, he hit me. Sometimes in life, you have to hit back. It's not always going to be easy. They're not going to give it to you. They're not going to give you success. They're not going to put it on the platter. But if you're willing to work for it, if you're willing to put the sweat, the blood, the tears, if you're willing to earn it, they don't give away Bentleys. They're never on sale.
Mayday, mayday, mayday. Bravo 1 signals to heavy. Emergency descent.
we have, as humans, we have something that no animal has. And what it's called is imagination. And what imagination allows you to do, it allows you to see it before it actually happens. What I mean by that is I need you to go 10 years into the future, 20 years into the future, and I need you to see yourself actually becoming the person you want to be. You got to live in the forward. Block the whole world out. Put some music on, some classical music, right? The piano if you need to. I don't know what you need to listen to, but I want you to take 30 minutes. Go in the closet. Go in the basement. Go to the library. Go into a room alone. And I want you to take 30 minutes and I want you to imagine. I want you to take 30 minutes and I want you to live in the forward. See, the problem is I'm talking to some of you guys. The problem that you're having is you're living in the future and you living in the present. And you keep talking about the mistakes. You keep talking about the past. You keep talking about your trials. You keep talking about your situation. And I want you to know that everybody that's ever been great, everybody has had an obstacle to overcome. They've had a barrier that they had to climb. There is no individual who's ever reached success and he didn't have to go through an obstacle or a barrier to get there. I need you to live in the future. I need you to go in your future every single day. I need you to go in your future. I need you to see what you're going to be. Listen to me. What you are to be, you are now becoming. And so you got to use your imagination. And your imagination has to take you beyond the pain. Your imagination has to take you beyond the trouble. Your imagination has to take you to the next level. We had to see ourselves there long before it happened. The second tool is we got to embrace faith. I have to have faith to believe that the thing that I see 10 years from now, 20 years from now, that one day that thing is going to be successful. When I was homeless at 16, I could have quit. When I was homeless, I could have given up. There are many days that I thought about committing suicide, but I said to myself, just keep imagining, keep thinking, keep seeing what you're not now, but what you're going to be. Sometimes it's going to be hard. Sometimes you're going to look all around you and nowhere do you see success. Nowhere do you see anything that remotely looks like success, but you got to embrace. Number two, you got to embrace the faith. You got to believe that although it's not happening right now, if you keep pressing, if you keep pushing, guess what? One day is going to be your day. That's right. I need you to say that with me. One day is going to be your day. Embrace the faith. You got to be able to see it and believe it, that when there's no evidence around you, when there's no evidence around you, when you got pain in your life, when you're tired, you feel like giving up and you feel like quit. When you look around you, you don't see anything that looks anything like success. You got to embrace the faith and believe that one day going to be my day. But one day can't be your day if you give up. If you quit, no day will ever be your day. I want you to fail forward. That's right, I said it, fail forward. I want you to get to a place in your life that every mistake you make, every setback you get, right, every obstacle that you don't overcome, every barrier you can't climb. I don't want you to give up, but I want you to fail forward. You got to learn from your mistakes. That every mistake you make, you fail a class, get back up and try again. You lose a job, get back up and try again. You put all your money in investment, get back and try it again. If you start a business and it don't work, don't stop, don't quit. Fail forward. Learn from each and every one of your mistakes. Don't quit, don't give up. Listen to me. Don't quit, don't give up. If it gets hard, you tired, not around yourself. You double tired if you have to, but you hold on. But I want you to know you will never reach your goal. You will never reach your dreams if you don't use your imagination. So when you fail that class, don't drop it. When you fail that class, don't just stop going. You go into the end of that class. You go into the end of that class, and you go into the end of that class, and you go into the end of that class, because I want you to know something. When you start that class over the next semester, you won't be starting from scratch. You won't be starting from the bottom, because you were all the way up here when you quit. And now all you got to do is go a little further and a little further. So keep reaching, keep climbing. But it starts started with a vision.
Fear is not real. The only place that fear can exist is in our thoughts of the future. It is a product of our imagination, causing us to fear things that do not at present and may not ever exist. Fear is a choice.
Only those who risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go. I want your dream to be so clear that when you wake up in the morning, all you got to do is step in your dream. And the first step for me was seeing something I was not before I was. You can do it. Where you are is temporary. You will not be there for the rest of your life. I don't care what happens in your life. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care where you are. Every single day you wake up, if you're gonna have energy, if you're gonna have passion, if you're gonna have drive, every day you wake up, you gotta start with that vision. This is a mentality, like you gotta live this, you gotta eat this, you got every single thing you do is not a cute saying. It is a way of life. It's got to possess everything you do. It's got to own you.
There's no reason to have a plan B because of distraction of plan A.
I want to see how far I can go. I want to see what I can accomplish. I want to see what I can do, what I can be, what I can have. I want to see. I don't want to see what I think I can do. I don't want to see what I think is possible. I want to see what my life would look like if I didn't count the cost and if I was willing to go further than anybody else was willing to do.
One problem, the violin. Because to do what you do, you've got to be a world-class violinist. Because if you don't, when you're moving around and being thrown around and still trying to play, you end up doing what you did, and that's missing loads of notes. And there were times when it sounded to me like a bunch of rats being strangled. Seriously, that bad. But you're not good enough, I don't think, to get away with flying through the air and trying to play the violin at the same time.
I don't think what you're doing right now is enough to fill a theater in Vegas.
That much movement made you not as great as you were. Made you not as great as you were.
Anytime there's a change to be made, you have to realize that there's somewhere else you want to be. And I wanted basically to be happy.
You can't do anything without faith. It's impossible to accomplish anything without faith. So I need you to believe there is still time. As long as there's breath in your nostrils, as long as you can wake up in the morning.
The first step before anybody else in the world believes it is you have to believe it.
So I need you to believe.
Because if you're willing to go through all the battling you got to go through to get to where you want to get, who's got the right to stop you? I mean, maybe some of you guys got something you never finished, something you really want to do, something you never said to somebody, something. And you're told no, even after you pay your dues. Who's got the right to tell you that? Who? Nobody. It's your right to listen to your gut. It ain't nobody's right to say no after you earn the right to be where you want to be and do what you want to do.
You gotta do what you was called to do. You gotta do what you were born to do. You gotta do what works for you, because if you do what works for you, you're gonna blow up. It's in your DNA. It's who you are.
Then you get knocked down, you get back up, and you get back up, and you get back up, and you continue to throw shit against the wall.
You have a vision, but listen to me. You are where you are because of who you are. And if you're going to get somewhere else, you're going to have to change something.
Change is inevitable. And listen to me. As much as you like to be in your comfort zone, as much as you like to be stable, as much as you like to control your environment, the reality is everything changes. If you're doing real good, at some point, something bad's going to happen in your life, all right? Listen to me. I think a lot of times what hurts people is not the situation itself, but they get caught off guard. They get knocked off guard. So number one, you got to be aware. It don't take me off guard. So one of the things I need y'all to do for me is you got to know that it's coming. And once you know it's coming, listen to me. Muhammad Ali, in one of his greatest fights, after being out of boxing for a long time, going through some of the most challenging times of his life, making a decision not to go to the war. Let me tell you something. It was difficult for Muhammad Ali, all right? But the reason he was able to stay on fire, stay at the top of his game, stay in the zone, is that one simple reason. Muhammad Ali was aware. He took the blows. Are you hearing me? He took the obstacles, right? He took the best punches my man could give him. Look, life is going to throw some serious blows, some body blows, and they go hurt. But when you are aware, you can strategize. Life is going to throw you some serious obstacles. You have to learn to turn and look at every obstacle as an opportunity. You got to learn to do the rope-a-dope, baby. What's your strategy? You know life is going to happen. It's not that life happens that bother, it's that they don't have a strategy. What's your strategy, baby? I got a strategy. When I start school, I know the first week I'm pumped up, the second week, maybe the third week. Maybe I can get all the way to the 6th week and I'm still pumped up. But the reality is at some point, I'm gonna hit a doldrum. At some point, I'm not gonna wanna go to class. At some point, it's gonna be boring. At some point, so I got a strategy, right? When a fire starts to burn, right, and it starts to spread, at some point it, boom, boom, and it blows everything up in its surrounding. You gotta learn to get in environments that's on fire. If you wanna stay on fire, if you wanna stay in the zone, right? If you wanna reach your maximum level, you gotta place yourself, and we talked about this before, you gotta place yourself where it's already on fire. You gotta sometimes get in environments on fire. Stop hanging around people that's gossiping. Stop hanging around people that's complaining. Stop hanging around people who don't want to do nothing with their life. Stop hanging around people who always see the dark side, who always see something negative. Stop hanging around people who don't want nothing.
And that concludes our leg workout. This is Cody, and this is Brandon. Until next time, guys.